With pre-existing problems such as phobia at home, anxiety, etc., the lockdown due to coronavirus has added more to the bucket of queer individuals. At Impulse, we believe in having no shame in asking for help and provide access to professionals. In this series, a panel of mental health professionals answer common problems faced by queer individuals amid the lockdown.
Hello everyone, my name is Shruti. I'm a mental health practitioner. I have my independent practice based out of Bombay. I'm also Chief Advisor for Mariwala Health Initiative and a faculty member for Queer Affirmative Counseling Practice. It's a certificate course for mental health practitioners. As we are all aware, these are unprecedented times, extraordinary times, and everyone is struggling. A lot of people are struggling. None of us know how to do this right because it's an event that's a first in most of our lives, right? And within that, we are queer trans people who already had a whole set of concerns regarding our gender and sexuality because we live in a very heterosexual world. So we already had some difficulties and some struggles, and now those struggles may have got a bit intense during this time. So I'll take a few questions. One of the questions that came up were about having a craving for physical mutuality, and I think how does one respond to that during pandemic is also to put it in a context. Already as queer trans people, we are very deprived of the kind of touch that we like, right? We really have to go out there using different means to find someone with whom we can exchange our desires, with whom we can be. So it's not easy anyway, even when times are different. But at times like this, it's definitely much more enhanced because maybe for a heterosexual person, they might be able to find some amount of heterosexual connection, closeness, exchange within their homes, right? But for us, most of us live in homes that are heterosexual, right? So where do we go and seek and find someone else anymore? So I think what's important to recognize, step number one, is that we have a need that is going unmet. Yeah? It is an unfulfilled need, and we need to acknowledge that. Let's not try to push that under the carpet and minimize it or dismiss it and say, oh, it's not a big enough need. So thank you for bringing it up and stating it very clearly that we do feel this craving. And in our culture, we are not allowed very much to talk about such needs, right? So it's important that you brought it out in the open. And as I said earlier, there's no solution to this at times like this. But the solution in some ways is step one is to recognize I have that need. Step two is to recognize that need is not being met. And step three is to recognize that because the need is not being met, I am experiencing distress. So the focus should be on distress management. What do you do to manage the distress that is coming out of an unmet need, right? You can't meet the need right now, unfortunately. Maybe there are some virtual and online ways to meet that need, but actual physical touch is not going to be met. That is causing you distress. So how do you attend to that distress? What do you do to soothe yourself emotionally? How do you find maybe some other outlets? Also, how do you just focus on self-care that little bit extra? Because it's an unmet need, there is distress. And because of that distress, then there is also an impact on your immunity because you're sad, you're frustrated, you're angry that these needs are not being met. And when your immunity is taking a toll, at times like this, that is so much more dangerous because we have to focus on physical health very much so at times like this in a pandemic. So managing that distress and stressing upon self-care gets very critical because then your physical health will also be better. And I know there's no answer to how do I get that physical craving need met, but if you manage the distress, you will feel somewhat contained in not being able to meet that need. Generally in society, again, we are moving around in a world that is so heterosexual that we get erased. Yeah, we don't know many people like us, so we have to go to special events, parties, locations, occasions to find and connect with people like ourselves who reflect my reality. And right now that's not available. And even when things become normal, how soon can we go back? How safe will it be? These are questions for which right now, honestly, we don't have any answers. We don't know, right? When is it that I will be able to meet another queer person like myself, connect, just be myself? We don't know these answers. Yet I just want to say one thing very clearly. As queer people, we know that we are gay, queer, trans, even when the whole world is telling us otherwise, right? That's our experience. We all know growing up, we all know when we were first coming out or when we are coming out maybe more recently, that we have grown up believing that there is no one else like me. Or where are these people who are like me, right? So we know that experience of feeling like I'm the only one. Did that stop us from being gay? No, right? Because gayness is not about what the world thinks of my sexuality. Yeah, being queer, being trans is about what I feel inside. And that is something nobody can take away from you. Yes, because that comes from here. That's how you are. That is how we are. So don't forget that. Don't let go of that. You are queer, you will always be queer, irrespective of whether the world holds that for you or not. And we have been through that, we have survived it. So let's reach back into those experiences to remind ourselves of who we are and what is the story and narrative, reality, identity that I have from within, and strengthen it for ourselves. Just reminding ourselves that will go a long way in giving you strength. No one can erase you. They might try, they do, but has it erased you till date? No, right? Because you are there, you are queer, yeah, you're listening to this, which means you care about being queer. That's not going to go away. So hold on to that. I know that many people are stuck in homophobic environments. They are stuck with families who are putting pressure for marriage. I know that homophobic homes, the only escape from them was the outside, was the queer world, and you don't have access to it. But that does not mean that you are erased. You have an inner voice, strengthen it, yeah, and of course, use virtual spaces to connect with people like yourselves. There are resources out there. Internet is your friend. Find those resources, find those people, reach out for yourself and reach out to others. You will not be erased simply because you're locked up in a homophobic home. That homophobia is something that you can resist because you have resisted before, right? All of us know what homo negativity, what trans negativity feels like. We have found ways to cope before. Maybe we've not used them for a while because we had found other escape mechanisms like going out. But maybe we need to remind ourselves, what would I do before? What was I doing earlier? What were some of those mechanisms? How was I surviving? And really hone them, make them sharp, use them. Self-care at all times is paramount. Right now, given the pandemic, we are not looking to thrive. Unfortunately, none of us are. But we are looking to survive. Yeah, we want to get out of this being healthy. Yeah, feeling safe. And that is something we owe ourselves at times like this. So let's remember that message for ourselves. There are a series of videos. Some of them are talking about techniques to manage anxiety, techniques to be safe, strategies to connect. I urge you all to watch those and take strength from that. But at the end of the day, you have you. So hold on to that.